I started writing one of my gigantically long messages to the group, and I thought that this would actually be better as a video note. So I wanted to talk a little bit about results because we're going to be talking about them with fleet splits. So results can obviously make you feel amazing or make you feel terrible, and also sometimes you honestly don't care. But the funny thing about results is that when you focus on them, you tend to stop focusing on the things that got you the results. So when you focus on results, you tend to do worse. So a lot of people just pretend that results don't matter to them. But that's often not entirely true. So it's okay to be honest with yourself. Like right now, because of that regatta or because of that race, I feel super excited or happy or sad or angry or depressed. And so when you feel something like that, take a moment to really feel the emotion, to sort of like, what does it feel like in your body, in your mind, to feel like that. And then like maybe you even need a little cry. I've cried more times in my laser than, I don't know, lots of other places for sure. So take a moment to really feel it. Then it's time to focus on the next thing. So what's going to get you to your next goal? Focus on that instead of on the thing that's causing the emotion, even if it's a good emotion. So emotions are actually short things, usually. Emotions kind of want to appear and then fade away. For example, if you're going to stay angry, you usually have to tell yourself the story of the thing that made you angry over and over and over and over again. Oh, I can't believe they did that. Oh, and then they did this. Jeez. And then you're telling someone else about it, and then you're telling yourself about it again. Oh, they did that. Jeez. And so you have to keep reminding yourself to stay angry. If you stop telling yourself that, you might forget and stop being angry. That requires a lot of self-awareness to catch yourself and stop that cycle. But it's really important, because if you have a really good race and you just keep on telling yourself, yeah, I rock. Oh, that was awesome. Yeah, that was great. While you're sort of basking in it, which is fun, to be fair, it's great. You're not collecting information. You're not preparing for the next race. You're not maybe drinking water, putting on sunscreen, whatever it is that you need to do to be your best, to be best prepared for the next race or the next thing that's coming. So you want to take a moment to really feel it and then start preparing for the next race or the next thing. And then if you pretend that the emotion is not there, it still kind of wants to pop up. And so it's a little bit distracting. So I think it's important to make space for those, get it out of your system. Yeah. So then the other thing I want to say about results is that just because results can make you feel things, feel happy, feel sad, whatever, doesn't mean that they define you. So you are not your results. Results don't tell you who you are. And that's sort of like, everyone says that, but it's like, how can you actually really digest that and think about it? Results in sailing, I mean, you could kind of think of it like a card game. You could get really excited, really happy about totally defeating your friends in Uno. And that's great. It makes you feel something, but it really doesn't tell you about your value as a human being. Or you could lose really hard at Uno, and that's okay. You know, we're playing a game. That doesn't mean you try less hard next time. You know, like, it's still frustrating to lose at Uno, but it doesn't mean you're a bad person if you lose, right? It doesn't, yeah. And then the other thing, just to emphasize that, I just wrote down a list of a few things that make results in sailing super random. And those are just the extreme examples. Like, we all know that sailing is full of random things. So it makes no sense to define your personal worth based on something that's that random, right? So I'm not saying that results are useless. After a while, if you start seeing a pattern in the results, then that can give you information on how to set new goals, how to improve moving forward. But a result in a race makes you feel something, but then it doesn't tell you that much. You need to just get back to work. That's sort of what I'm going for. Yeah, the other analogy I had written here is just that you could think of it like your score in a regatta, like a score in a computer game. If your score in the computer game is good, celebrate it. Yeah, I got a high score in Tetris, whatever, 90s kid here. Whatever it is, Fortnite. So celebrate it if you have a good one, and then if you have a bad one, try again, right? It doesn't mean you're a bad person because you got a bad Tetris score. So there are some of my thoughts about results. So the idea is to be able to think about results without losing your mind, without losing your focus, because this came up because it's the last day of qualifying tomorrow. So how can we think about our positions in the fleets without getting bent out of shape, without getting in our own way, in the way of our learning?